Just want to give you guys a view of what I'm looking at. It's beautiful out. The cold front is finally over, and the sun stays out much longer now. It's actually like 40 degrees and it feels like it's springtime because it was like 5 degrees for like a couple weeks. So it actually feels pretty good, and it's not completely dark at like 4:30 now. So anyways, what am I going to talk about? Well, let's talk about what to look forward to this week and the overall landscape. And of course, the freshest thing has to be this hack and how unfortunate it was, and the blowback and everything else. Since yesterday, obviously most of you guys know what happened. Friday, it was reported Bybit got hacked for 1.4 billion. It was the North Korean group Lazarus. They claimed they were the ones that claimed that they did it. They took credit, and since then, they've been trying to get their money out however they can, because now everyone's tracking it. So the latest is they're spreading it all over because they can't simply convert it to Tether or USDC because it would just be locked up. They can't simply just move it to exchange. It'll just be locked up. So they're trying all the creative ways to get to cash out, and it's difficult when it's that large of a sum. So now it's been reported that they're getting involved with meme coins, with ETH memes, with Solana memes. They're getting involved with just projects overall. They're trying to convert synthetic ETH to ETH, and I even saw some reports they're trying to buy Bitcoin with it. I mean, they're trying to do what they can to try to hide the transactions, but bottom line is it's tough because unlike years past, now we have a lot more tools and companies that specifically tracks wallets and transactions. So it's tough. And especially with large amounts, unless you plan on breaking up $1 billion into 1 million different wallets, it's tough to move without people noticing, right? So bottom line is they're trying to do what they can, and their efforts are obviously slow, and it might be going on for a long time. Bybit itself, I guess people are applauding them because of the fact that they suffered through this hack. They did not shut down withdrawals, because in the past, whenever like Binance or anyone else that had something like this, they would actually shut down withdrawals. So from what I've heard, they actually did not. So they actually withstood that. Obviously, the CEO Benzo did a lot of interviews, stayed on top of it. He was very forthcoming on what has happened. He wasn't hiding behind the scenes, and they did what they can to educate and let people know. So good for them. And supposedly they are buying back the ETH. All the ETH that was stolen, they are buying it back. OTC, I hear. And they have the money for it. So as for Bybit, there's really no FUD at this point, like they're going to be insolvent or anything like that. So good for them. Really good for them. Because the last thing we need is another exchange to to go under. But yeah, so that's the latest. And like I said yesterday, you know, the timing of it just didn't sit right with me. It could be a total coincidence, but man, could not have come at a worse time, right when Bitcoin was about to break up to 100,000 again, right when momentum was back. Just felt like something was off. Anyway, since yesterday to now, Bitcoin slid down a little bit, slightly. Ain't too bad, but like I said yesterday, we'll see tonight. We'll see how Asia reacts. Usually tonight, when Asia wakes up, there tends to be volatility. I don't know what it is. Asia, more often than not, likes to sell off. North America is definitely leading the way when it comes to Bitcoin. Wall Street and institutions here are definitely the ones that are loading up. So we'll see what happens tonight. Or maybe it's the opposite. They'll actually wake up and say, hey, we need to load up. This is the time to be loading up. We'll see. I did notice, of all the alts, XRP is the strongest. It did go down with everything else, but it's holding really, really strong. So whatever whales that are holding on to XRP, they are hanging on with their dear life. They are definitely holding, and they are not letting go. Unfortunately, a lot of the other alts that were coming back, for example, Solana, Sui, they were coming back, especially in Thursday, Friday, seems to have lost their momentum and fell back down again. But hopefully they do pick back up again. But as for Bitcoin, you know, we've seen these levels. Again, it's not like we fell down to a new level. It just kind of sucks, you know. Hack just like sucked the energy, the great energy that we needed, because we haven't seen a good rise for so long. You know, it's great to have a breath of fresh air, and then it was just like sucked out. So we'll see what happens this week. We do have a few important things happening. Nvidia is having their earnings this week, so that could be a big catalyst. A lot of AI talk recently. Once again, still a lot of talk about ChatGPT, obviously, but also DeepSeek, and then there's a couple new players from China that's supposed to be amazing. But of course, you have Nvidia. They're in the center of it all, because they're the ones making the chips that power all these AI models. So they're going to be reporting, and you know, they do well, obviously that's going to carry the tech and AI sector. Also on Friday, we're going to get a PCE inflation report. Obviously, all the inflation readings we've had over the course of the last month has not been good. Inflation keeps on ticking up. So this PCE is probably going to show the same thing. It would be good if we actually stopped, but I have a feeling we're going to keep on going, and that's, again, not good, because we're in a position right now where Powell can't cut the rate while inflation is going upwards, and we need that. We need him to cut the rate, the Fed fund rate, again and again and again. We need that rate to go down. All right, my final thought is this, and it doesn't really relate to crypto, but it does kind of relate to what I've been covering, and some people are quite passionate about this, and that is politics. Obviously, we're living in a time right now where politics is harsh. You know, you got people attacking, right? Both sides. You got controversial people leading the way, and it's almost like you have to be labeled one side or the other. I've never been one of those people. I've always tried to just use common sense growing up. I've never saw myself one way or another. So when I try to cover news, I try to be as neutral as possible. I cover things for the intent of making a point, mostly to make the point that Bitcoin is definitely worth holding on to, because no matter what is being done or what has been done or what has been going on will always be done, because we will always have bad leaders, we will always have shenanigans, we'll always have recessions or problems with inflation and this and that. And that's why it's important to own Bitcoin, to have that personal freedom, to be able to hold on to an asset that will be the best hedges against inflation. But obviously a lot of people are very passionate about politics. They don't like how I'm neutral, or they think I'm taking one side or another. So I definitely see that, right? And before, I've never really made my streams or coverage very political, but I feel like because of Trump's crypto stance, which is very positive, this is not something that we've never seen before, so it's definitely important to cover. And Elon with Doge, that's just something new. And obviously with Elon's history with Dogecoin, I just feel like, you know, it's interesting, even though a lot of what is being reported is not very accurate. But even though me saying that causes people to get riled up, people will say, well, what do you mean it's not accurate? It's, you know, it's just like there are a lot of things that are being reported. So I guess my point is this. People could debate and argue and get riled up over anything, right? That's fine. But ultimately, what does it really do for you? This is the ultimate thing that I'm starting to realize, okay? I kind of knew it already, but like I want you guys to think about this. This is the difference between the upper class and the middle class. And I'm talking about the truly upper class, right? What people, the upper 1%ers, the billionaires. So like you think about what's happening, you have all this divide, this division, this fighting, this all the things that's happening right now, right? That's what the middle class, that's what every middle class citizen is doing and worrying about, and small businesses included. But what is the upper class and the big businesses like the BlackRocks of the world? What are they doing? They're taking action. They're taking advantage of what's happening, and they're betting big. They're setting themselves up to make it big, right? So that's what I'm coming, like my conclusion, what I'm starting to realize is a lot of what's going on is just one distraction after another to make you or I, look at this. It's nice to see the deer family. Hopefully they get more to eat now. But a lot of what's going on right now are just distractions, trying to get us confused or scared or just getting us out, right? I say that a lot about crypto, right? All this FUD and market manipulation. I say they're included. They're all distractions to keep us busy and not focused on what's really important. And that is setting ourselves up for real change, for real growth, for real life-changing wealth, right? I think that's what it comes down to. And if you could figure that out, if you could figure out that, hey, all this bickering and all these things that we're distracted with, okay, they're going to go on forever. That's fine. I may not agree, or I may want to partake and want to cause change, which is fine. But how do I take advantage of it? And if you can figure that out and not be distracted, that is how you're going to change your status from middle class to upper class, and how you go join the ranks and see how they control everything that we see. I feel like that's really what it comes down to. For me, I still feel like investing in Bitcoin and crypto is the easiest way to do that. That's what helped me, and that's what I try to help you guys do, is remove the distractions, ignore the FUD, and continue to hodl in DCA. Because I still think that's the easiest path to financial freedom and then lead to life-changing wealth. But I do think there are definitely a lot more opportunities out there. And all this bickering and infighting and finger pointing one side to another and all this stuff, it's just really to distract the middle class and lower class, and all this is done so that the upper class can continue to acquire more and more wealth and power. And the sooner that we see that and stop falling for it, the better we will be. That's my final thought. So you let me know what you think. All right, guys, smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys usual time, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right, have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.